why is she out so fast? Well, it's only been like 4 hours and it's supposed to be an 8-hour surgery, and what's going on?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 17 of the 18-Wheeler Survival Documentary. Welcome back. If you're new to watching this, thank you for tuning in. This is my mom,
Hello,
Linda, and we are going to pick up where we left off. I'm going to give the floor to my mom. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you didn't watch last week's episode, I suggest, maybe you might want to go back, but it was a really good one. They're all really good, I think. But a couple of things I wanted to touch on from last episode. One thing was we talked about Sanaya getting off of her opioids. Now, she was on Oxycontin for a couple of years. She was extremely addicted to it, and it took her finding a new doctor and doing a new protocol to get her off the oxys. And one of the things that he definitely suggested that she do is to smoke marijuana, and she got her medical marijuana card. And I just want to make this statement that we're not saying, that we think everybody should be smoking marijuana. This was for a very important medical reason. Marijuana does have a lot of medical benefits, no doubt, but we strongly recommend that you, seek, a doctor and get a medical marijuana card or license.
Especially getting, weed off the street these days.
Oh, yeah, it's dangerous. I mean, you don't know what you're getting. I mean, it could be laced with anything. And the worst thing that they're lacing marijuana with on the street is fentanyl, and it's killing people. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. The other thing I wanted to mention was we also talked about her losing friends because they didn't know how to deal with how she was, with how she looked, the way she was just different. But there's also another reason why there were maybe one or two friends that left her because of the choices that she began making, those wrong choices, and these other kind of friends that she started hanging around with that were so like opposite of what she was normally used to. And people just, they weren't in agreement. They didn't like the people she was hanging out with. So some of her friends left her for that reason as well. So I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way. And so we're going to kind of fast forward through the months, through the summer. And we're going to...
I still have a lot of guilt from that.
It's okay.
I still have so much guilt because of the choices that I made and the people that I chose and the people that left because of it. I have so much guilt.
You know what, Sanaya, though? This could be a time when you're helping other people. You were very young. You were very vulnerable at that time. And you were lost and you were broken. And I
feel like it's like I look back and it's just like, how stupid could you be?
You weren't yourself then, Sanaya, at all. You weren't yourself. You were making decisions that, I mean, there were times when I would be like, who is this person? Where's my daughter? You were it was like you were a different person. But thank God you're back. Yeah. You're better than ever. And now you're helping people, that might be going through the same thing. So it's not for a waste. Okay? Yeah. It's not a waste. So anyway, let's fast forward through. So she's seen Dr. Tinkoff, and she's getting constant care, making sure everything's good. Dr. Tinkoff was saying, your skin graft is fine, and is probably going to be on there for a year to a year and a half, he said, from when they initially did the skin graft surgery in January of 2013. And so he was like, yeah, your skin graft's probably going to be on for about a year to a year and a half. And we're like, dang, that's a long time. And but getting close to like the end of summer, he was like, I think it's ready to come off.
Yeah, so they were waiting for the swelling to go down. Yeah. And I'll post some pictures, but you can see like the skin graft was so large and so
Yes.
swollen, but then towards the end of it, the skin
It's
graft,
yeah, it was like
smaller and
this.
smaller and
Yeah,
smaller.
it was very interesting to watch the slow transformation of it, but
And this
in
was my nurse
essence,
taking care of me at home too,
right.
along with, going to the doctor's office, and they were keeping track of me.
Yeah.
But I give it to my mom for
I took good care of you. I did.
Yeah.
I tried my best, and it worked out. And so it came down to where Dr. Tinkoff scheduled her major abdominal wall reconstruction, removing the skin graft, and
closing me
closing
shut.
her up. Sounds simple, right? But and that surgery was scheduled for September 9th of 2013. So instead of a year to a year and a half, it was 8 months. 8 months of having the skin graft done. Almost half the time.
Major.
And so that was really exciting. Praise the Lord.
Because for me, when I hear that, I was healing on the outside, but that means that God was healing me on the inside,
Yes. Yes. And I was ready to take that skin graft off and close her up.
I remember Dr. Tinkoff, I was talking to him one day, and he said that this surgery is like removing a stamp off of an envelope.
Yeah.
Without taking any of the envelope off with the stamp, because my intestines was right underneath the skin graft. There was no in between.
Nothing.
So it was a very serious surgery.
It was very serious. He said it would probably take at least 8 hours. And so, she had to prepare for that and, fast. And
one thing, too, I want to add in that they told me that I was not allowed to smoke marijuana around the time of my surgery or even beforehand. I had to get it all out of my system, because coming to find out, they told me that a lot of the time, sometimes the patients wake up during the surgery because something with the anesthesia, it doesn't take or whatever. And yeah.
Could you imagine waking up in the middle of surgery?
True.
Oh, no. Heck no.
So just to add that in as well.
Yeah. So follow your doctor's instructions.
Right.
And so she went in for surgery. And I remember Katie, she came and sat with me, and some other people from church, my friend Sue Miller, Doris. People came and sat.
Great support.
Yes.
Oh, and too, they were looking for an anesthesiologist, and our pastor's wife, she actually was the head
of anesthesiology,
and they
Becky
worked,
Carmona.
Yeah, and Becky Carmona worked it all out, and was able to be the team of my anesthesiologist.
Yeah,
it's
she
so
organized
crazy.
the team.
I was like, God covered me.
It was so awesome.
With the right people.
So awesome.
It's crazy,
I remember she met us when they were wheeling you down. Yeah. They say, we've got you covered. You're gonna be okay.
So one thing too that a lot of people told me, just me letting them know my fears and please pray. A lot of people just kept repeating over and over to me, God did not bring you this far and save your life and bring you this far to let you fail.
No.
And it's like, that's what I just kept holding on to.
Right.
It's like, all right, okay, God, we're just going to do it again. Let's do it again.
So we're waiting in the surgery waiting room with a bunch of other people, and they got this big board up there, and you can see all the patients, not their names, the patient number, and you can see where they're at in the hospital, pre-op, op, post-op, recovery, and so I'm telling you, for hours, I'm just like watching this board, just because that was my only connection to her, was watching her number on this board. And so when she came out of surgery, so it was like, why is she out so fast? Well, it's only been like 4 hours, and it's supposed to be an 8-hour surgery, and what's going on? And then next thing I know, here comes Dr. Tinkoff, looking for me. And he was like, come with me, come with me. And he takes me into this, private, consultation room. And I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, why does he have to take me into a room all by myself? And got very nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, just, halfway through the surgery, why aren't you in there with her? Why are you here? It's like, it's got to be bad news. And he was like, he sat me down and he said, the surgery was successful. Not without some complications, because that skin graft had attached itself to her intestines. And he said that was really hard to get that released. And then, like I mentioned before, when they did the initial surgery at the night of her accident, when they cut her open, they take the abdominal muscles and they roll them up like a tamale. It's the only thing I can think of. And they put them on the side of her abdomen, and you can even see sometimes on some of her pictures, you can see where it's kind of like a roll on each side. And those were her abdominal muscles. So those were like, and he said we had to slice them. Imagine like taking a tenderloin, a beef tenderloin, a filet mignon, one of those big tenderloins, and slicing it to flatten it out. That's what they had to do. So they had to do that and then pull her abdominal muscles to the center, stitch that up, and they used a special kind of stitching that was supposed to just stay there, forever. We're going to talk about that in another episode.
Right.
And
Pay attention to that, though, because that means something.
Take the skin, her skin, after they took the skin graft off, take the skin and then bring that together and then sew they did not sew it. What did they do?
Staples?
They stapled.
Yeah, how many staples was it?
It's like
78.
It was a lot. It was a lot of staples. And I mean, it looked like crazy. It looked crazy. And
go ahead.
yes, but when he was like, the surgery was successful, I was just so, I think I gave him a big hug and I was crying and waited for her to get out of post-op and recovery. And that took a while until I could go back and see her. And
I was so sore.
That was brutal.
So sore. Oh my god.
That was a brutal surgery.
Oh my goodness. It was terrible. You never really realize how much you use your abdominal muscles with everything that you do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So now I can't, when I go to the gym, I can't do any workouts that are abdominal no core workouts.
Exercises.
I have to be very careful with everything still, years later.
She can't lift anything over 10, 15 pounds. She's not supposed to.
For the rest of my life.
Yeah, for the rest of her life. So, yeah, but it was, that was quite an ordeal. But thank God for Dr. Tinkoff.
And just to think that Dr. Tinkoff, the only reason we even knew about Dr. Tinkoff was because the trauma surgeon that was on duty in Atlanta, Georgia at Grady Hospital that saved my life, Dr. Nicholas, he had a colleague, which was Dr. Tinkoff. And it just so happened that, and it's just like, and Dr. Tinkoff wasn't even accepting new patients, and he accepted me. And it was like,
such a God thing. God puts pieces of the puzzle together that we would never be able to.
Seriously, like what are the odds of that? I mean, it's just like it blows my mind still to this day that God had his hand on me.
Right.
Even though I was a mess, even though I made so many wrong choices. I mean, just the other day I was praying to God and I said, God, thank you so much for saving my life, because I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve it. And in my spirit, I felt like he told me, nobody deserves it.
Nobody deserves it. Nobody deserves it. we were at church today, and we were singing a song, and it said that he bore our sins on the cross. And I thought about it. I was like, wow, God, seriously? I mean, I was not the greatest teenager and young adult growing up, so don't think that you're the only one that's made a bunch of mistakes. And I didn't know the Lord at all until I was 34. And I thought about that one little line that we were singing, and I was like, he bore our sins on the cross. I was like, God, that was a big cross for my sins. And the Lord said, it's not about the cross and how big the cross is for all your sin. It's about the blood of Jesus. It's so powerful.
And it's like, my mom can say, she didn't know God until, a certain age, but I grew up in church.
Yeah, since you were 4.
Yeah. So, he still forgives.
Yes,
and then look, he's using me. He's using what almost killed me, and he's using it to go ahead and help other people, to know that, don't give up. You're not alone. Keep fighting. Give God a chance. You're not a mistake.
There's a verse in the Bible that says something like, those that are forgiven much love much.
Yeah, I know when I meet people for the very first time, and if they have a certain presence about them, of love and loving life, I love asking, what happened?
Yeah, what's your story?
What's your story?
Yeah.
And they always have a story, and it's just some stories are really amazing. Some people just want to be heard and their story to be heard. So, yeah.
You know what that makes me think of is when we would meet people that they were also in car accidents and really, traumatic car accidents, but they would say, oh, but it wasn't like your accident. And it's like, hey, you know what? Trauma's
trauma, man.
Trauma's trauma. And it doesn't matter if it's, you're laying on the deathbed, in a coma for 2 weeks, and like what Sanaya went through,
or if you're dealing with mental illness, honestly, that's huge. I mean, a lot of the time too, because people, they can't see, I don't look like I've been through what I've been through,
right.
And you never know what somebody's been through,
right.
Just because you don't have a scar or something that's bleeding on your hands.
Right.
On the inside, the mind, inside.
Yeah,
somebody can be really broken, or if they've been through a lot.
You just never know. They could have a smile on their face, but inside they're tore up.
That's why it's always be very careful, how you treat people.
That's right.
Be very careful how you talk to people.
Be kind to people.
Yeah, respect people. I know sometimes it's frustrating, but, come on now.
Yeah. So I think that's all I have to say for today.
It's so cool because, when I had nurses in the room with me and Dr. Tinkoff was walking up to the room, all of a sudden the nurses would be quiet. They would stand, with their hands on their side, and they would be at attention. And me and my mom were like,
why are they acting so weird? They're like, oh, da-da-da-da-da. Tinkoff walks in, they're like,
yep. And my mom asked somebody when Dr. Tinkoff wasn't around, and they said that, he's so
strict,
but he doesn't play around. He doesn't play around about his patients. I guess one of the nurses said that, before surgeries, he'll gather the whole team together. And if there was one person in the team that was not listening, he would kick them out.
They were out.
Yeah, I don't want you in the surgery. You're not paying attention. You're not taking this serious. You're done. You're not on the surgery.
Right?
And it's just, because surgery is serious.
Yeah. Someone's life is
all it takes is just one person making a wrong thing because they weren't listening, So Dr. Tinkoff takes his job very seriously, and once I saw that from the nurses, it made me even trust him even more.
Right. We had so much respect for him.
So much respect for him.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to choose me.
No, he didn't.
You know?
And let me tell you, even after Dr. Tinkoff, when he moved to Cleveland for a little while, and she was having some issues that we'll talk about in another episode, we were trying to find a doctor, and
Hold
over.
on. Let's not talk about that, Mom.
All right.
That's a big thing.
Sorry.
All right.
We'll do that later.
Yeah, next one.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, there's a little bit more to the story.
Yeah, that's edit.
Okay,
right. So I think that's good for now.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you for watching. And if you have not already subscribed, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And like, follow, share, comments.
All that good stuff.
All that good
stuff.
stuff.
We love comments.
Yeah. Share your comment. You know, if you have been through a trauma, you know, if you have survived something that almost broke you, share it. You don't got to share the details of it, but just let me know, you know, you're a survivor.
Or if you need prayer.
Yeah.
If you need prayer, we will pray for you.
Definitely. I love to pray.
Yeah, me too.
Prayer moves mountains.
Yes. Yes. Prayer touches the heart of God.
Yeah.
Prayer changes things.
Yeah. I'm a witness.
Yes.
It's like, it's not just me talking, you know, it's just like, I'm a witness. So, But anyways, thank you again, you guys. I appreciate you, and have an amazing rest of your day.
Bye.